Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a brand spanking new episode of MovieKombat.
It was called for a second?
No, I was pausing for dramatic effect.
Oh, okay.
Not for the fact that I almost called it PT3600. No, this is MovieKombat Episode 2. More specifically, we're going to be talking about Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Now, this season of MovieKombat, we are going through all of the Star Wars movies that were majorly released in theaters in chronological order of when they are in the timeline.
Yes, sir.
All right, joining me is...
This is Nate. I'm still here.
Yep, you've made it to
I came
the
out
next,
of my room.
Yep, you made it to the next week. Now, we are going to go through... We're still trying to format this in a way that it is still, like, under... Hopefully around the hour mark. That's our end goal. You already know how long it's been, how long this episode is, but that's what we're trying to do. So if you have... if you like the shorter formats, or if you prefer our season 1 where we went really in depth of it, make sure that you put those in the comment section so that we know for next season. But anyway, kick it off, Nate. What are we talking about first? Let's take us through Star Wars: Attack of the Clones, the second episode of the Skywalker saga.
Yep, I guess that's now the good term for it.
Yeah.
You want me to go through the story already?
Yeah. Or do you want me to rapid fire off my little notes I had?
Okay, go hit your statistics.
Okay, so the statistics here. The opening crawl is 1 minute and 19 seconds, which is actually 1 second longer than the episode 1 crawl. And I time it from when the horns hit to when it fades. That's when I'm timing these. So give or take, maybe they are pretty much the same, but that's pretty close. And let's see here. I have a bad feeling about this. It's said 1 time. There are...
That's it? I guess it's about the average, 1 or 2 times.
Last episode, it was said twice. Lightsaber moments. There are 14 lightsaber moments. Now, we didn't count each individual lightsaber that was unsheathed, because if that was going to be the thing, this would be way off the grid. Last episode had 10.
Okay. So
Jedi Mind Trick was used twice, while last movie it was 4 times. Space Battle, there's 1. And last movie, there was 2. R2 coming in clutch, there was 1 moment, as last also had 1 moment. Light Speed was hit 3 times, while Light Speed was only hit once last time. Planets that were seen, we had 5 planets in episode 2. We had Coruscant, Naboo, Camino, Tatooine, and Geonosis, which last episode only had 3. Yeah, last planet only had 3. It was actually all of the planets plus 2 more in this episode.
Yeah.
I sense a disturbance of the Force is said none. No times, as this said. Jedi powers. 25 times a Jedi power is used, while last episode only had 8.
You must have been picking up your phone a lot.
Yeah. And May the Force be with you was said once, while last movie was said 3 times. So there you go. There's the statistics for...
I feel like it was higher in almost every way.
Yes, this one definitely just was like, hey, Jedi stuff? Yeah, we got that. Then they just did it all. But why don't you give us the movie rundown? Let's go through the walkthrough.
Well, so after the opening crawl, I have the first major event as the attempted assassination of Senator
Amidala.
Padme.
Yeah.
And of course, luckily, this was one of her decoys, so she avoided this attack.
Yeah, the big ship explosion.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kind of gets you out of nowhere too, because it's such a peaceful opening.
Yeah, then all the boom. But it is kind of like, I wish they didn't have Padme and what's his face talk, because it really threw you in like, oh, obviously something's going to happen now. Because they're like, oh, gee, nothing happened this whole trip. It was really weirdly...
The foreshadowing.
Yeah, I was like, man, just let it happen. then react to it. But whatever.
And of course, this leads to basically them having to get protection, for her stay in Coruscant. So I think this is when they get the council sends Obi-Wan and Anakin for her protection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the boys get assigned, and that was probably not a good choice on the Jedi Council. I don't know what the heck was going on. There's a lot of decisions that get made that like transcend the rest of the saga from this movie alone. It's insane. Just every single thing that happens in this movie, like the ripple effect that it causes, just destroys everything.
Yeah, because if you would have got sent to any other mission, and they wouldn't have
they
met again.
Yeah, they wouldn't have done anything. They hadn't seen each other for like 10 years.
But it's fate.
Fate, my ass. But anyway.
It's the Force pulling people together, right?
Yeah.
Well, of course, Anakin thinks it's overkill. He was like, "Oh, we don't need 2 Jedi to protect you."
Yeah,
he thinks a lot of himself at this point.
Yes, he is very much of a pompous little asshole right now, so we'll see what happens.
And yeah, he maintains that for a lot.
Yes, for the remaining of this saga, he kind of goes... Well, actually, just for the remaining of this movie, and then leading into 3, but it pays off. It pays off.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, you think he's the whole way?
Kind of the whole way, because he goes straight into Vader, so...
Yeah, but really, is he really pompous? He's pompous in this one. He's very, like... I can do my own thing. Like, I can be who I want to be, and I don't need anyone to tell me who I can't be. I'll write it in my little dream journal later.
Yep.
Like, anyway, so they all get teamed up.
Yep.
Obi-Wan and Anakin are now in charge of protecting Padme.
Mm-hmm. And then this kind of leads into... I'm not sure how many nights are supposed to have been there. But
it's just the first night.
Yeah, I guess she didn't last for it, man. They're really being aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, then they you get the little droid that pops the little insects through the window.
Yeah, there's little millipede things.
Yep.
Yeah.
2 of them, you have a backup.
Yes. And they're like the smartest things ever because they know
can hide from R2.
Yeah, they can know where these invisible lasers are, but whatever.
Yep. It's a sci-fi universe. Maybe it's a very intelligent
fantasy.
insect.
It's fantasy universe, not
fantasy sci-fi.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah. And yeah, I think this is when I think Obi-Wan. Anakin senses it. Obi-Wan senses it too. Then they run in.
He very much specifies that he senses it too. I feel it too.
Yep. And they pull out their lightsabers and cut those.
Well, Anakin jumps on the bed.
Of course.
And full mounts.
He was ready
Padme,
for
yeah. Now's my chance.
Waiting for this moment his whole life.
Yeah.
What she does say multiple times that I've been thinking about you every day.
Yeah. It burns. Get that checked out, Anakin.
Yeah. And I think this is when Obi-Wan then jumps through the window to grab onto the droid.
Yes. He full on busts through a 400-story window. If you were so in Vegas, they have almost bulletproof, smash-proof windows.
Not in Coruscant.
That's what I'm saying. If you run full speed at a window in Vegas, you get fucking nailed onto that window like a bug. You don't go through it.
Obi-Wan has forced glass break.
Now we'll say, I'll give him benefit of the doubt, though. Maybe he went through it because the glass was already cut. I don't know.
Yeah, it had a weak point.
Yeah, let's say he jumped through that point though.
Right.
But still, it would cut him up. It's like reinforced
if you did, a
glass.
Force jump, I think maybe it's strong enough to go through the glass.
Sure.
That would be a funny parody though, where he jumps and then he just gets blocked.
Blam! Just
gets knocked out.
Sorry, I thought we could have got it.
Let's get him tomorrow.
I do like how that's his first reaction to do that, though.
And he's bold.
Yeah. I'll be back. He just jumps through the window. All right.
Yeah, I know. He just definitely takes a risk there. And then Anakin goes and then grabs a little speeder.
Yep.
And this is when we get our speeder chase.
Yeah. They're chasing after the little droid ball, but then they realize that, the droid has a master.
Yeah, there's a bounty hunter controlling.
Yeah, there's a bounty hunter that was sent by another bounty hunter to go and get Padme. So yeah, this whole chase is because of that. Which is kind of cool. It's kind of cool chase.
I think it's really cool, actually.
Yeah,
Got some kind of cool music to it.
well, my thing was after this was like when we were watching this, I was like, man, I really wish that this movie was just this, like this buddy cop, Anakin and Obi-Wan doing their thing, and it's just the story about them. Like,
Right.
introduce Padme, yeah, that's fine. I don't really care anything up to that point with the Padme thing. And I don't care if Anakin falls in love with Padme, that's fine too. It's just how it was all executed after this was just a disaster. Like, I don't know. It to me, like this, there was when I saw this and then they went into the club and they're like in the cantina and
Gotta have that scene every time, though.
yeah, this is our cantina scene, and the guy tries to sell him death sticks. Like, it added this like sort of well, Cyberpunk's not out, so I can't really like reference a thing I don't know about. But the Blade Runner, it kind of reminded me of Blade Runner.
Oh, when they're like on the street level,
Yeah,
kind of course.
yeah. Like, wouldn't you have like liked that? Like this sort of buddy cop movie.
That's what everyone kind of asked for.
But then it didn't.
Kind of get it a little bit in The Mandalorian.
Yeah, but like,
not at a big city level.
Yeah, but I mean, these are two characters that are supposed to be trained. Like, Obi-Wan's supposed to be training Anakin, and this kind of would have been this whole. He could still be rebellious, but like, I don't know. Then they did exactly why I don't like some of the other episodes of Star Wars, is because as we kind of kept going, then eventually they just separate them, and then it's like, all right, well, what the heck? What is the point of all this? And now they're all separated. Now we got two different storylines going.
Yep,
multitasking. And then it just becomes a whole big cluster of like, I don't know what's happening anymore. There's two different storylines, and then every scene
goes back and forth.
Yeah, changing back and forth from A side to B side. Yeah, but anyway, but like, could you imagine though? Get rid of Padme out of this whole situation. Anakin could then be with Obi-Wan.
And it's just them going after the bounty hunter the whole movie.
Yeah. And then they go to like the hideout where they go to where all the clones are being made and stuff. I'm getting ahead of myself, but man, that would have been so cool.
But then I think you have to cut out the Padme storyline completely.
Yeah.
Which then loses the stakes in the next movie.
You could build it up mainly in episode 3, where like maybe Anakin is like dealing with this problem of like, oh, I'm kind of falling in love with her. Like, what do I do?
Yeah.
But I don't know.
And then they could probably cut out the Grievous stuff, which I guess we're getting a little ahead in there.
Yeah, but I know a lot of people love Grievous, so that would have been a big situation. Anyway, so they finally find this. I can't remember what her race is.
No, but yeah, she's able to like
changeling,
transform.
a changeling, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
And
she does not look very attractive when
no.
she changes back.
She gets hit with a little blow dart from a very familiar
Django.
Yeah, bounty hunter head, and then he flies away. Whoo. And then,
right on cue too, like right before she's about to tell him something, he's like, "Doop."
Yeah, Django's just sitting there. All right,
waiting for it to
as
fuck
long as she doesn't say my name. The bounty hunter's name is shit.
Yeah, he has his finger on the trigger on that one.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, they capture her. What else happens?
And so and then
she dies. The bounty hunter dies.
Right, she's dead. And then some other stuff after this, but I had the next big moment is
yeah, we'll skip along. There's a lot of bull crap that happens in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, so basically Padme then decides to go back to Naboo. And
I need to be with my people.
Basically they decide that she still needs protection.
Mm-hmm.
So they send Anakin with her.
The Jedi Council.
Yeah, I was trying to think, was it the Council or was it Palpatine? But I think they were all decided together.
Yeah, they all have a little huddle.
A little powwow.
Yeah, they're like, "Hey, Palps, I need to tell you something." He's like, "Hey, Mace, I got it. I understand.
I got you, bro.
I understand what you need." And then they're like, "Oh, we'll send Anakin. Why don't you do that?" Yeah, I guess we could do that. He can't amount to anything. Might as well give him an easy job.
So they don't want him.
What's the worst that can happen?
He's not allowed to protect her by himself in Coruscant, but he's able to go by himself
to Naboo.
Yeah, Naboo with her.
Yeah, which just found peace between two races that were like feuding with each other.
Oh yeah, with the guns.
Yeah, but then so Anakin gets ready to leave. He leaves with Padme. They're off going to Naboo.
Right, and this is then when you have your other storyline that you
Our
prefer.
A storyline.
Sure.
The A side of the track.
So, because Obi-Wan takes the little dart thing to his friend.
Dex. Drex? Dex. Drax.
That's what he looks like.
Mr. D. We're going to call him Mr.
That he's working
D.
at the
Or Diner Man.
diner.
It's his cafe.
Yep. And luckily this guy seems to know a lot of stuff, a lot of underground stuff. He's in the know. And
He rolled really high.
does he? So I think he tells Anakin where.
Tells Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan. The planet to look for, right?
He says like that he's heard of a planet that's like in this star system specifically, or it's from that star system specifically, and he's like, oh, okay. He goes, do you know where to find that? He's like, I don't know where to find that, but I'm sure you could go and find it, or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember. And then the
Obi-Wan goes
Obi-Wan goes,
The
fine,
Jedi
peace
archives.
out, bro. I'm gonna hit the library. And they dap each other and they leave. No, you don't do that. But and then Obi-Wan goes to the library and then gets roasted by a librarian, and because he can't find it.
Yeah, it's not an archive. It does not exist.
Yeah, you stupid little bitch, and then walks away, and then talks to a kid, and then they look back and they walk away. I don't think they look
This
back,
idiot.
but yeah, don't hang around this guy. He thinks planets exist that don't exist.
Right. And so he has to go talk to Master Yoda.
Yeah. We're essentially like skipping the flashbacks to the love relationship that's developing over in Anakin and Padme, but that's about all you really need to know.
This is when they're just on the ship. We're basically skipping that part, right? When they're taking the cruise over.
No, when he goes back to talk with Yoda, I think they are landed on Naboo and they talk with the new princess, and that whole thing happens. But it really can be just summed up with they're flirting, they're falling more in love with each other. That's about it. Back to the mainline story. Obi-Wan is like doing his deal. He talks with Yoda. Yoda schools him in front of some kids. Most embarrassing. Like,
Obi-Wan has lost a planet.
How embarrassing. And then all the children laugh at how dumb Obi-Wan is. And then this child like says, what did he say? Something along the lines of like, if the planet doesn't want to be
is
found.
it possible that somebody modified the archive?
Yeah, and then Yoda pretty much says like, why didn't you think of that, stupid? Like, that's about it. And then we cut back to Anakin.
Yep. Well, by this point they're at her retreat, right?
At a retreat. Yeah. They're at her summer home.
Yeah.
On the shores of the I don't know how deep lake that they all live on.
So they seem to have perfect weather in Naboo.
Yeah. It's always springtime.
At this point, this is where they're really starting to fall in love.
Yes.
It's getting real tense. Mostly because of Anakin, he makes it kind of awkward.
Kinda awkward. Oh boy. Yeah, that does happen.
Mm-hmm. And then back to your storyline A.
Yep.
This is when Obi-Wan is in now after he finds out where he needs to go, this is where he goes to find Kamino. All water.
It rains a lot.
Yep.
But there are people that live there.
And they ride.
Yeah, these like
dinosaur
avatar dragon things. And James Cameron stole that idea from. No, I'm just checking out. But yeah, what do you call? Obi-Wan lands on this planet that shouldn't exist. Yeah, and then he is at this platform and walks in, and it's all like
they're
pristine.
like expecting him to kind of.
Yeah, we have been expecting you.
Yep.
These like, I don't know, Q-tip looking dudes, looking,
the Kaminoans.
the Kaminites.
Yep.
And they, just talk to him about, hey, yeah, we have this clone army that you've been special ordering
requested.
Yeah. But what happened to him?
And then Obi-Wan is telling him, Sifo Dyas, he died 12 years ago.
No, the blessing. No, I'm just but the
It's
yeah.
amazing they don't have much like more verification that I guess they just know that he's a Jedi. It's like, oh, this is your army now.
How?
For the,
They didn't. He
I don't
hasn't
know.
said he is. He hasn't. He just showed up, and he doesn't have like his lightsaber's
like any
not out in the
papers
open
or anything.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything. He just talks to him. He's like, "Oh, yeah,
He died.
that's right." Well, he kind of goes along with it for a while, and then he's like, then they finally go, "Oh yeah, what's his face?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, that dude's not here anymore."
Right.
He's
And so then they kind of assume that, I mean, I guess Obi-Wan's their representative for the Republic, so they go give him like a tour of the whole facility and everything.
yeah. Which is even more hilarious because it's like you don't know who this guy is, but hey, we're gonna show you everything just to make sure that you're okay with all this.
Yeah, maybe in a novel or something, maybe they went over, like, I don't know,
Like why
more
they gave it
details,
to
like
him.
how they knew that he was a Jedi or something.
But we get introduced to the test tube babies and how they
Their
are.
aging process. And,
Yeah, they're 5 years advanced, right? Like 3
well, it was
months
supposed
is
to be
like
half
5.
the time.
Okay, half the time.
Yeah.
So 10 years
It's supposed to be
is
20.
5, and yeah, if 10 years they're like 20 years
Right.
old. So
5,
the
10.
clone years are 10 or half the time of what it
Yeah.
would normally take to get there, which is a weird concept. Because it would just be like a different time. So when they're like 50, they're only 25. No.
Right.
When they're 25, they're 50 years old.
Exactly.
That's what happens. It's reversed.
That's why it's supposed to be explained that they're
They die
all
fast.
died by the original trilogy.
Yeah. Which I always thought, for the life of me, that the stormtroopers were clones.
I always thought that too. When I saw the prequels at first, like, oh, so that means all the stormtroopers are clones.
Yeah.
Until you get older and you kind of know the lore more. But.
Yeah. But yeah, okay. So he sees all of these trained, brainwashed sort of
Right.
clones.
And then they introduce, we based them all off of Bounty Hunter Jango Fett. And they go introduce Obi-Wan to Jango.
Hello.
But I think at this point, yeah, because Obi-Wan knows that that's the bounty hunter he's looking for. So he's kind of like,
Where were you on
he's
the
kind
night
of playing
of,
dumb.
Yeah,
Yeah,
December
gonna-
17th. Have you ever been to
Coruscant, I think is what we asked him.
No, I've never been there.
Yeah. And they
I
tell
don't
his,
get out much.
Boba in a different language to go shut his closet.
Yeah,
It's just-
which is a bold, ballsy move because you don't know what Obi-Wan can speak. He just like goes into this
it
weird.
was risky. He's gonna think C-3PO wasn't with them.
Yeah, so I don't know. Anyway, so they get introduced to the clones.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan's like, "All right, deuces. I'm gonna go tell the rest of the Jedi," and then he goes and tells the rest of the Jedi.
Right.
And they're like, "Oh,
In the pouring down rain.
yeah." It's a bit windy out here. And then he tells Yoda and Mace Windu, and they're like, oh, great. I guess get him on a ship or something. Like they're totally agreeing to it, which is weird because they didn't know anything about it, right?
I don't believe they did.
Yeah, I don't
think
think
this is
they
Sifo Dyas's like side project that he had.
So anyway,
And then so Jango, because he knows that Obi-Wan's onto him, decides that he's gonna try to take him out.
yes.
And this is when we get a pretty epic fight scene.
We also get introduced to Slave One for the first time as well.
Yep.
Jango's spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, baby Boba. And the thing about Boba though, he ages like a normal child though.
Right. He got one that was unaltered for himself. Was part of the deal.
And so Boba is like, well, Boba's probably 10, so he's
Yeah, I
entitled to 10
think
years,
that's
yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be 10.
You know, a funny story. When I was down in Disneyland, when I was doing the Disney vlog for the channel,
Was he there?
he was there, Baby Boba, the guy who played.
That's funny because I was
Baby
watching
Boba Fett.
a video this morning. They were talking about, what happened to this guy after he was in that movie.
I think he's just kind of around.
That's what exactly what they were saying.
Yeah,
Like, he's in public, but he's not really doing anything big.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's where I actually saw him do the whole. So if you watch the Star Wars Night episode of the Disney vlog, when they're all doing the Jedi training, the guy that played Darth Maul and that guy that played young Boba Fett
We're both there.
were
huh?
both there, and they were doing the whole Jedi lightsaber training stuff. So
I guess there was a rumor that if they were going to do the Boba Fett standalone movie before Solo kind of flopped, that he would have been maybe kind of considered for the role, but
interesting.
because he would have been the right age at that time.
Interesting.
So he fights Django.
Yeah. Django versus
Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan.
Yep, and then Boba Fett gets in the ship and starts shooting the shit out of him too.
And then freaking Obi-Wan does this like Batman night, like Adam West Batman.
Oh, with the
dink. And it's like this like.
Oh, I know you were
my
calling
God.
BS on that one. We wrapped it around.
Yeah,
perfectly.
he takes this lasso thing and he throws it. It like tethers around something
to catch himself,
and he catches himself, and he's holding on. It is pouring down rain on this. So let's say it's strong enough to hold him, right? It's probably made out of some metal, like
right.
a metal wire. Well,
Yeah.
if it's metal, then it's slick in the rain. So he could easily just have slid off of it. I was like, this is some garbage. Like, so.
I don't know. I accept it because he's a Jedi.
Oh,
I don't know.
No, that's not
one
how
of the best
That's not
Jedi.
how the Force works.
Hey, that's how Obi-Wan made it work in that scene.
Oh, my God.
Talk to your boy George Lucas.
Oh, no.
So I think simultaneously, this is about the time when Anakin and Padme. Well, I think Anakin. This is after their whole love scene.
They have
he
not
starts getting
made love.
nightmares.
They're just flirting way too hard.
I don't know. I think it's kind of inferred that they might have.
They have not done it yet. They have not done it yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Yeah, because they're still sleeping in different beds by the time the nightmare thing happens.
Yeah.
And then she says, "Oh, did you have a nightmare last night?" And he's like, "No." He goes, "I heard you screaming in the night," is what she kind of says. I'm like, what a fucking psychopath this guy is. But, like, yeah, I don't know.
This is when he tells Padme that he's having nightmares about his mother.
Yes. Snee.
Yep.
Snee?
Shmee, I think it is.
Shmee.
I know. I was trying to think when I was running these notes how to spell it. I don't know how the spelling
Is
of it.
Shmee? Because it's not the same name as Captain Hook's little lackey in Peter Pan. It's a different
now you're
name.
going too far out.
I think it's Smee. No, Smee is the one that's... Yeah, Smee's Peter Pan. Shmee is Star Wars. I think we're going to go with that.
They're so similar that to me that's the same name.
I think there's an
So
H.
one has like one has an
Yeah.
H, one is just SMI or something.
Yeah,
Smee.
I think it's SEME. No, SMEI.
Okay.
I don't know. You get it.
Where's it? Oh yeah. So this is when he decides that he needs to go to Tatooine.
Yes.
Well,
We
I
forgot
think this is what happens. I think he was decided he was gonna not go to stay with Padme, but then Padme's like,
No, he says, "I have to leave. I have to go. You stay here."
Well, I
and then she's
thought-
like, "No, I'm coming with you." And then he's like, "All right." Like, he doesn't say anything. It just cuts the scene right there.
I thought
That's
the
it.
whole thing was because he has to protect her. So she was like, "Well, I guess you'll have to come with me then to Tatooine, since you have to go with me anyways." But yeah, either way,
That's right. That's right. Because this is one of those scenes where Anakin. So in this movie, I hate this movie when it comes to when Anakin and Padme are in the same scene.
you don't like their chemistry.
Because Anakin will say something, and Padme will then repeat what he just said, or she will say something, and then he will contradict what she just said, or repeat what she just said, and make it seem like it's his idea. Like in this scene, he goes, "You're gonna have to come with me," like you just said, because now I'm remembering it. And then she goes, I'm not leaving. I'm not letting you go alone. I'm coming with you." And you're like, "Yeah, I know. We got that. We were already told that bit of information, Padme. Thank you." But yeah, go on ahead. Like, it's just so irritating because they do it again when they meet the new princess, the new
the new queen.
yeah,
Of,
she says something, and then the new princess says something to Padme, and then Anakin interrupts and says something for Padme, and then Padme goes, "I can talk for myself," and then says the thing that he just said, and it's just, oh god, it's just Yeah.
Yeah, when he got roasted for being a Padawan. instead of a
Exactly.
full
Yeah,
Jedi.
you're a Padawan. You can't talk or whatever like that. He's training to be a Jedi.
Yeah, she points that out.
Yeah. It's like, oh god, it's pretty
Yeah,
bad.
Anakin didn't like that very much.
We also missed the sand line.
Oh, I
Where he's
didn't
like,
find that very
"I hate
important, but
sand."
it's a classic line.
Gets everywhere,
Mhm.
and it's irritating. Oh god. Anyway, so yeah, they leave. They're like, yeah, we need to bounce on out of here and go back to my home planet, Tatooine.
Good old Tatooine.
Yeah. Nothing ever happens with Tatooine, though. But we've been there twice in the 2 movies we've watched. Anyway,
Tatooine likes to show up a lot.
so what else happens?
So at the same time they're going to Tatooine, we have Jango is following Obi-Wan, Jango and Boba, and they're in Slave One.
No, Boba Fett is following Jango Fett. Or, sorry, Obi-Wan. Yeah, Obi-Wan is following Jango Fett. Because Jango escapes, but Obi-Wan put a tracker on Slave One when they left. So he's been tracking them through like light speed and stuff like that. Which no one can track anyone through light speed.
But then how does he...
Says someone later in the freaking saga, which is irritating. But
but Rogue One is supposed to solve that, I think.
we'll see. We'll see what happens.
So I guess it's messed up. So somehow Jango and Boba, they get behind Obi-Wan, right?
Yeah, because they start going through. They notice.
They
that
realize he's following him.
Yeah, and then he.
They do a pro maneuver.
Yeah, Jango fires off these like distill rockets. Or no. He drops the imploding like bomb.
A very cool bomb that cuts out the sound
goes,
temporarily.
And then it like then all the asteroids start which is a cool scene. It's cool.
That's really good, like in the movie theaters and stuff.
Yeah. Remember that was THX.
Oh yeah, there you go. Your George Lucas company.
Rip. But yeah, so then after the whole trying to chase after him, they know Obi-Wan notices that Slave One lands on this new planet, which is
Geonosis.
No. Does he see the ship land, or does he just lose him?
See, I think what happens is
he flies into
he goes
an
to like
asteroid.
an asteroid, and then Jango and Boba believe that they've killed him.
Yeah, and then they just disappear, and then
he
Obi-Wan
pops out
goes,
later.
"Hey, there's a planet here. I might as well land," or whatever, and then he does.
Right.
Because he realized that Boba Fett landed on the planet, and so which he finds out that the new planet that he's on is
Geonosis.
There we go.
Little bug planet.
Yep. I had the Lego Star Wars games, and there's a Geonosis level on it. Yeah.
What do the bugs look like in Lego form?
They look like what you'd think they look like. They look like Lego versions of them. But anyway.
All right. So kind of at the same time, back to what you call the B storyline. So at this point, Anakin and Padme have we kind of skipped when they meet. What's his old owner's name? Watto, your favorite guy. And then Anakin kind of fixes the thing for him.
It is Annie.
Yep. And then Anakin asks where his mother is, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know. I sold her a long time ago."
Yeah. It's tough times.
Yeah. Business is business, or something like that. He says. But luckily, he remembered the person that he sold her to.
Lars.
Yep. And so Anakin and Padme go find their that settlement, and then Lars tells Anakin, "Oh, I'm sorry, but you're." I think at this point he believes she's dead.
Well, more.
She's been missing for a long time.
Yeah, if she's been gone this long, she's most likely dead, is what he says. But she's been kidnapped by Tusken Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anakin doesn't take that too well.
And yeah, this is where he starts to get aggressive. He just takes off on his own, no backup or anything. Gets a speeder.
Yep. I have to go after her.
Get some intense music while he's riding there, passing some Jawas.
And then
all green screen.
Yeah, all the green screen on him on his little like pony ride that you see out in front of like an old timey department store. Because he's just rocking back and forth on it. But yeah. Anyway.
Yep. And shoot, then he kills everybody.
Yeah. Well, he does find his mom
Yeah, he finds his mom, and then
at literally the
she's
last
tied up.
seconds of her life. Yeah.
Yeah, she's just enough alive to see him one last time.
Yeah. And then she dies, and then he's like, I gotta kill everyone now. And then he kills everyone.
Yep.
Not just the men,
But the women,
but the women,
the children.
the children, their dogs. No, I don't know.
I don't know if he mentions that part, but I think it's
No,
probably
it's
assumed that he
the same.
probably kills them.
There
too.
were animals there.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he murdered everything.
I think so.
Yeah, but anyway. Yeah, so he does that. And then what happens after that?
Well, so back in Geonosis, Obi-Wan gets captured
Great.
while because he would start to snoop around their little base of operations on Geonosis. He goes back to his ship to report to the council.
But we see a very major character get introduced in this scene, though. Well, I guess not in this scene, but we get the talk with Obi-Wan and the Count.
Oh yeah, Dooku.
Dooku.
Yeah, once he's in his
Count
like
Dooku.
prison chambers that he's like floating up there.
Yes. You have been trained well. And then we find out that Qui-Gon was his apprentice.
Was
right?
Dooku's
Was
apprentice.
Dooku's apprentice.
Yep.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. I forgot about that.
Right, and then Obi-Wan calls Dooku a traitor.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't think it's not really explained why he left the Order, but you just know that he did.
And then he full on says the whole entire plot of Palpatine, but he calls him Lord Sidious. And he's like, there's this person named Lord Sidious that's hiding within the whole council, and everything's gonna go bad, so you better decide what you're gonna
he's
do.
very proud of himself.
Yeah, and then Obi-Wan's like, you're a liar. And then it all happens. So, literally that was the moment.
It must be assumed that he probably thinks that Obi-Wan's not going to survive getting off of Geonosis, so
he tells
classic,
the bad guy plot.
Yep, the classic trope.
Yeah.
Ooh, where were we? Where are we in our timeline here?
So he gets captured.
He gets captured.
Yeah.
I think at this Anakin and Padme.
Anime.
Yeah,
that's their celebrity dating name. The anime.
Yeah, that's the Raylo. It's anime.
Yep. I like that. We're gonna refer to them now
There
as
we
anime. Okay, so anime. They're on their. They get the message.
They get the
from
message.
Obi-Wan to transmit it back to Coruscant.
Right.
And everyone's being broadcasted like everyone's surrounding around the World Series radio station to see what's gonna happen next. And then they're like, all right, stay on Tatooine, don't go after him.
And of course Anakin does not listen to that crap.
well yeah, he says like, oh, we should probably help him, but we probably should stay here. And then Padme's like, we're gonna go help, or you're sent to protect me, and I'm going to Geonosis. And she leaves. He's like, big old smile on his face. I'm like, oh my god. So yeah, that all happens.
So So then they go to Geonosis. They get captured.
Yep.
After they fight that little assembly line droid plant.
What will this be the end of anime?
Find out. Yep. C-3PO gets a little regular battle.
Oh yeah,
droid
we
put on
forgot
his
to
head.
mention C-3PO has now joined the party with R2-D2.
Yep, he's part of the clan now.
Yeah.
Regular cast member.
Yep.
This is when you get the clutch R2 scene.
Yeah, he saves Padme from being
molten hot
melted
thing.
in, with magma.
Mm-hmm.
And we also get to see R2-D2 use jetpacks that he never uses again. I don't think he uses it in 3.
I think he maybe only uses it in the animated series.
Oh, okay.
After that, maybe like some of the video
You mean
games.
in the Clone Wars? So,
Yep.
but yeah,
they get captured. Then they kind of all get rolled out together. Anakin, Padme, and Obi-Wan on like the cart.
I'm sorry, who was there? Obi-Wan and who else?
And anime.
Okay, there you go. I'm sorry, I may have misheard you. On
Yeah,
that
you
last
must have.
one.
That's crazy.
So yeah, all 3 of them are chained up. But then while Anakin and Obi-Wan are talking about God knows what, Obi-Wan's like, I think she's ahead. Or no, he says some cheesy ass line where she starts climbing. She's already escaping. While they're
after they get
talking.
tied to the pillars and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He says like some dad joke, and then
she's already doing work.
yeah, yeah,
Getting the chain, ripping the chain off the thing,
yeah.
and they fight those.
I don't know
three
what
beasts
animal
total. I
that-
think it is right. There's like one for each of them. To fight.
Yeah, there's this like
Cat
tiger
one.
cat.
Yep.
And then there's this dragon with no wings, but on the front he has like these praying mantis
exactly. Yeah.
spear things on his
Like
hands.
a giant praying mantis.
And then the third one is like just a beast, right?
Yeah, it's kind of similar to the one in the Mandalorian. The
Oh yeah. Suka!
yes. Now I can't even think what they called that beast in the show. The signet that he gets, kind of like the Mudhorn. That's what they called it.
Yeah.
Suka. Yeah, that was
I
some
only know by the-
anticlimactic finale.
No,
for that.
it was not. That was exactly what I needed.
Yep.
Suka.
Perfect
Anyway,
for the moment.
we won't even watch that show. We might do a Mandalorian movie combat. Who knows? We haven't talked about TV shows. But
Yeah,
anyway,
season 2 maybe.
no, it's season. We're already in season 2. This is season.
Well,
3
season 2 of
would
The
be next.
Mandalorian,
Oh,
but
that's
I
what
guess-
you're talking
yeah.
about. Got it. I see what you're saying. Anyway, they get attacked by these beasts. They're all chained up.
Yeah.
What else?
I believe at
happens?
this point they're kind of holding their own. By the time that
Yeah.
Mace Windu decides
Yeah,
to like,
Mace Windu pops out and like,
Activate
surprise,
whatever order
motherfucker,
that
I'm
is."
here. Count Dooku.
it's kind of a cool scene where he's just kind of walking through this like dark
Yeah,
hallway.
how did he get there? He's a
Yeah.
Jedi. Everyone knows. Like, there's 2 Jedi out there. They know what Jedi are. So why is Mace Windu just walking around the Coliseum?
I mean, I think everyone's kind of in the Coliseum though, so maybe that's how they were
why?
able to
How did he get there? Who let him in? There's got to be an entrance.
they didn't have time to explain all that. I guess.
Anyway, he somehow got into the Coliseum.
Well, somehow all the Jedi got there,
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
and nobody
how
noticed that
that
there's all these people with robes like just next to
that
him.
can't fly and don't click
Hey,
when
they
they
ain't no
talk.
bug right there.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, he pretty much says like Mace Windu just talks shit to Dooku for half a minute, and then they all fight each other.
Right.
He jumps down. I have no idea why.
I think he jumps down to join the fight.
Why did he not just
because
kill
Jango
Dooku?
like flies away. Well, Jango gets sent after. I think later after he jumps down. Like it's a,
Yeah,
I think
why,
Dooku goes,
why
like,
did
go
Mace
kill him.
Windu not kill Dooku though? He had his lightsaber with him. He could have just killed him right there, but he didn't.
Yeah, good point. I mean, maybe because it wouldn't have been in self-defense, so it wouldn't have been a very Jedi way.
What the hell was the point of okay, all right. Anyway,
Yeah, 'cause I think Dooku makes a comment about, "Oh, you guys are outnumbered. You guys are gonna die." Then Mace Windu's like, "No, we're not." And then like all the Jedi
it
pop out.
flips off, and then it looks like a rave, like a Dead Mouse concert down there. And then, yeah, what else happens?
Then I think the droids roll in,
Mm-hmm.
and then they kind of slowly wear down all the Jedi. They kind of get killed one by one.
Yeah, there's a lot of Jedi that die in this
Yeah.
scene.
They take out a lot of droids, but yeah, they do eventually get overrun, and they're down to kind of a small segment of the A-teamers, I guess, that are still survive.
Yeah.
And then, yep, clutch time.
Yep, Yoda rolls up with the clones, and then Clone Wars begins, and they all start fighting, and that's about that. That's all that really
Yep,
happens.
so while that's initiated, then Dooku escapes
Mhm.
in his little pod with his droid, and then Anakin and Obi-Wan hop on a clone transport to follow him, and then Padme falls off.
Yeah.
And Anakin's like, "No, I gotta help her."
She would do the same. We have a job to do.
Yep. Yeah. Obi-Wan persuades him to stay on the ship,
Yeah.
which is pretty impressive considering Anakin never follows orders.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Master.
Won't happen again.
And it does. So, but yeah, they eventually catch up with Dooku though, and thus begins 2v1.
Pretty cool lightsaber fight.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent one.
They get bested.
Anakin gets thrown around like a rag doll, but
Yep. And then he loses his arm
yeah,
because Obi-Wan gets knocked out first, I believe.
yeah, he gets thrown to
And
the
then
side.
Anakin grabs
clung.
his lightsaber and does two.
Yep, loses his arm.
Yeah, because I guess he must not have been experienced enough with two lightsabers. So
But then, a little green man comes out of the blue. Well,
This is 100% fan service.
Yeah.
I bet at the time.
Yep. Because I remember when I saw Yoda do his little flippy dippy stuff. And
Right.
You're like,
It was really cool.
What?
Because he's always just like this old little being before that.
Well,
so.
he's a Muppet in the 4, 5, and 6,
Yeah.
in 5 and 6, and so it's like in this one, it's like, whoa, what the heck? He's because he's CGI. He can just do all these little flippy
right,
dippy
and
moves.
it kind of makes sense for his size, like his fighting style. He's just like jumping all around.
He always screams too. He goes, yeah! And he's like flipping her all around.
Yep.
But yeah.
And they get they try to force match each other. They're like, Dooku's throwing things at him, and then Yoda just catches it.
Yeah. And then we get Yoda like absorbs the electric shock.
Yep.
And
that's
then,
the first time he does that. I think he does it again in 3.
Yeah. And then Dooku says that he trained underneath Yoda.
Right.
And
That's when that's revealed.
Yep. And then
my young
Dooku crushes the ceiling and then escapes, and then
Right.
Yoda saves everybody, like the boys, and throws over his thing, and then that's the end of that scene.
Yep. And then Dooku goes back to Coruscant. We kind of skipped over the part where Dooku he has obtained now the plans for the
That's
Death
right.
Star.
Yeah, he got that a little bit after the scene with Obi-Wan. He then has this little meeting.
Yeah, with I guess presumably probably like the head council of like the Separatists.
Well, the bug people are the ones making the droids. And
Right, one of the
so
main factories.
they are like, I guess, super smart in building stuff.
Right.
So they have these plans of the Death Star. So we're to assume that they are the ones that created it, but later movies kind of explain something different. So who knows? We might
yeah,
learn
that is a good
something.
point. Yeah, because you kind of forget about that by the time you watch Rogue One that they had already had the blueprint.
Yeah. Well, we
So I
don't know
wonder
what
how
that
that
time frame
factors
is,
in.
so we'll have to figure that out.
Yeah,
in
maybe
that
they
movie.
work together at some point.
But yeah, this movie, they have plans for this giant weapon, and the bug guy gives it to Dooku, and he's like, "I will take this," and then they leave, and
Yeah.
that's how that works. And then
So
scenes proceed like how we've said before.
right, and then
So now Dooku has escaped. Yoda is with the boys.
boys.
Now what happens next? Pretty
I-
much the end of the movie.
That's pretty much. Yeah, there's only like maybe like what 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
Dooku meets with Sidious.
Pretty much just wrapping up this episode.
Yeah, Sidious says good job.
Yeah, so it makes up, and he loses. He uses not Dooku. Doesn't call him Count Dooku. He calls him something.
Lord Tyranius, I think is something like that. Is his
that's
Sith
his
name.
Sith name.
Yep.
Which is hilarious to know that Count Dooku is his Jedi name, which is really weird because I don't usually think of a Count being like
Well,
the good guy.
The Count part is from his family, but yeah, Dooku is his name,
Yeah,
his
so
regular name.
so Count is his surname.
Right, because his family is royalty.
Oh god.
So that's why. So when his father died, he took over as the Count.
Interesting. That's some meta stuff right there.
Yeah, it's kind of deep. It's only.
Yeah. So
And then this is when Yoda kind of declares that the Clone Wars have begun.
Yep. And then our last scene is R2D2 and C3PO at
They're
anime
back in
wedding.
Naboo, it looks like.
Yeah, they're at an anime wedding.
Anakin has his robot arm now.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely not as advanced as when Luke gets his hand replaced because it's just a metal hand.
Hey,
and everything.
it's a long time.
It's earlier in the timeline.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
It's not as advanced, I guess.
But yeah, for the most part, that's pretty much it.
And then they secretly get married.
Yep. And then they
that's
do
it
it. And then they do it
for the second time.
But yeah, that's about it.
Yep, that wraps that up. You gonna go over your IMDb stats now?
Yeah, we're gonna head over into the IMDb corner as I'm typing. There it is. Okay. Let us take a look. Let's start off with taglines. Taglines, one of my favorite segments of the whole entire shebang, where we get to see maybe some interesting good ones, or maybe some just utterly dreadful taglines made to sell this movie.
I see the IMDb score is not too bad, 6.5.
Yeah, we'll see where we rate on here.
That's a good point. I forgot to think about that ahead of time.
All right, taglines. Well, now you can see what you would rate it on here. All right, number one, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 taglines. Here we go. Number one, a Jedi shall not know anger nor hatred, nor love. Number 2, the saga continues. Number 3, the attack begins May 16th. Number 4, the saga continues May 16th. So we have the attack begins and the saga continues. And then number 5, the clones are coming.
Yeah, I imagine the
not
clones
good.
was probably huge in the marketing.
Yeah, and the last one, size matters not, except on an IMAX screen.
Oh, okay. So
IMAX
they had a little
release
IMAX
tagline.
marketing thing.
Yeah. Obviously, it was released May 16th, 2002.
Wow. 18 years ago.
Yeah. Let's head over into trivia. Nate, why don't you read us off some trivia? Do you have it loaded up, or do you need to read off
I have
my
it
phone?
loaded now.
Okay. Go ahead and read. Let's go with 5.
This one's kind of interesting. So Hayden Christensen claimed to have greatly enjoyed filming the bar scene because it was a real set and not just a green screen.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I do have to give him some credit because I think the vast majority of
You
these
want to buy
3
some
movies
death sticks?
is green screen.
Yeah, I'm sure. Especially with George Lucas having a wet in his pants every single time to
so
get some CGI.
I would think
in
it'd be
there.
really hard to act when there's like no sets or anything.
I
You're
guess.
just like in costume.
I mean, most of the Avengers movies are like that, though.
That's true. That's a good point.
They're just done well.
I guess they're just better actors, maybe better directors too.
Number 2.
Nah, my one's probably a little too dark. References Hitler.
What? Okay, now you gotta read it though. Now you gotta read
Says
it.
the Senate votes to give Supreme Chancellor sweeping emergency powers to go to war against the separatist forces. This is the same ploy Adolf Hitler used to gain similar dictatorial power in the mid-1930s.
Jeez. Number 3.
Wow. Due to much of the animosity aimed towards Jar Jar Binks in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, the working title of this movie was Jar Jar's Big Adventure.
That's pretty good.
Wow.
Number 4 on the list of 5.
This one's a little interesting. So, the only Star Wars film that was not the top grossing film of the year in North America, it placed 3rd.
Wow, behind what in 2002?
After Spider-Man
Okay.
and Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers.
Okay. Yeah, those are far better movies than this. Last one, number 5.
So running 2 hours and 22 minutes. This was the longest of the Star Wars films until Star Wars Episode, looks like 8,
Okay.
The Last Jedi.
Last
It
Jedi.
says right after that, which runs 2 hours and 32 minutes.
And we summed it up in less than an hour, just so you guys know.
'Cause that's what we do.
All right, let's head over into quotes. All right, let's go ahead and I'm just going to give one scroll here. Oh my God, that's a long one.
Yeah, that's the same thing I was doing. I was looking for short facts.
There. Okay, C3PO. This is from C3PO. When head stuck on a battle droid's body. Die, Jedi dogs! Oh, what did I say? What did I say? Oh God. Let's go with, what is this rating on? Let's total votes. We're fine. All right, you can be Anakin. I'll be Obi-Wan.
Oh boy.
Uh,
Let's see if I can go over there.
Here, I'll just read my line. I'm Obi-Wan. Why do I get the feeling you're going to be the death of me?
Don't say that, Master. You're the closest thing I have to a father.
God damn it. Oh man. Oh God. Okay, you want to be Padme or do you want to be Anakin?
Oh God. Well, see, now I gotta stick with Anakin. I just did it last time.
Okay. I'll be Padme.
Somehow your voice is probably deeper than mine still.
We used to come here for school retreat. We would swim to that island every day. I love the water. We used to lie out in the sand and let the sun dry us and try to guess the names of the birds singing.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. Not like here. Here, everything is soft and smooth.
And then he brushes up against her arm with a very
And
caressive.
then she's like, oh, snap.
Yep. If that doesn't get get the juices flowing, then I don't know what the. All right, we'll do 2 more. I'll be Obi-Wan. You can be Yoda. Last lines. I have to admit that without the clones, it would have not been a victory.
Victory? Victory, you say? Master Obi-Wan, not victory. This shroud of the dark side has fallen. Begun, the Clone Wars has. Wedding scene.
Oh my god. Let's see where else. All right, we'll go with this last one. We'll Anakin and Padme. Here you go. You get the first line. And scene.
Yeah. When I got to them, we got into aggressive negotiations.
Aggressive negotiations? What's that?
Well, it's negotiations with a lightsaber.
Oh, that's there it is.
That's a good line.
That's a good one. All right, let's head over to tech specs. Go ahead and why don't you read us off some cool tech specs that were going on.
So the movie is 2 hours and 22 minutes. It looks like the main camera they used was a Sony camera, the Cine Alta HDW F900, and with the Panavision Primo lenses. Yeah, it looks like it was mastered in 2K. Not surprising. Printed on.
Man.
So it looks like for the IMAX, yeah. So it looks like they had some IMAX specific shot scenes on 70 millimeter. And the rest was on 35. Looks like.
Yeah, because normally the the movies are shot on 35 millimeter.
Right.
So this is actually pretty interesting to see the 70 millimeter.
Probably for some select scenes.
Yeah.
I'm assuming probably the clone scenes at the end.
Yeah,
probably
that's probably
IMAX.
true. Yeah. All right. Well,
and that's probably the more interesting ones in there.
Yeah. All right. So we want to move on to review.
Sure. I think I'm ready.
Okay. What are you reviewing it on?
So far, I think I'm going to stick with kind of, not too granular numbers. So I gave Phantom Menace 7.5, if I remember correctly.
Yes, you did.
And I like this one a little bit less. So I'm going to give this one a 7.
A 7. Okay.
I still think it's a worthy entry in the Star Wars saga, as taken in a whole. Maybe not taken by itself, but we're taking with everything else.
Go ahead and explain.
Well, I mean, maybe for its time, I'm sure the CGI and the tech was really impressive, but I don't think it really holds up as well anymore. And I think the movie really hinges on that. So without that being kind of a good tech demo, I think it loses a lot. Because I think the whole narrative is not quite there, with especially the Anakin and Padme scenes are a little weak in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some good stuff in there. Like I do like the chase scene. I do like the Obi-Wan and Jango fight. That's really good. And then the Count Dooku lightsaber at the end is pretty decent as well.
Yeah, there's Are you done?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, I didn't want to cut you off.
Part 2.
Yeah, so I think this movie is definitely probably the worst of the whole saga.
Yeah.
Just because, like you're saying, it relies on that CGI so heavy that now, almost 10 years separated from that movie.
Almost 20. 18.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 2022 would technically be the 20th anniversary of that. So it's an 18-year-old movie. Now, 18 years removed, it just you now can see the story for what it is. I think it's been out for so long now that it's really gotten to this point of it's not very well written. I don't know what he was really to me, my least favorite Star Wars movies are the ones that everyone just gets split off across the universe, and we're supposed to be focusing on the crew. We're supposed to be focusing on these characters, and they get separated, and then it's like it doesn't become fun because now we're just bouncing all over the place, trying to figure out, oh well, what's Obi-Wan doing? Well, why is he not? What's Anakin doing?
Right.
Why were they just not with each other the whole time? Well, it's because they have to form this love and this bond with Padme, and that really, honestly, the movie is ruined by that love story because it's so freaking sappy. And the writing for it sounds like a nerd writing it. And it is. It's George Lucas writing the damn story. And so, I mean, it's not written very well, but the scenes that Obi-Wan is in make me want that Obi-Wan show even more.
That's
now
true,
I'm like,
yeah. If you just put his scenes, it's really good.
Literally the movie is just Obi-Wan. He's the one moving the plot along. He's the only one that's moving plot along. The only thing that Anakin and Padme, anime is doing, all that anime is doing is they're just doing the same thing for about half the movie.
Right.
Half the movie they're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
They're just moving from planet to planet, falling in love with each other even more and more and more. And then they finally give in to the lust that they have because then they go and try to save Obi-Wan, which doesn't happen until like almost
the third act.
Until over 2 hours into the freaking movie.
Right.
To me, I was debating the 5.
Really?
But it is a Star Wars movie when it comes down to the end, and I definitely think it's worth a borrow. You definitely need to see it at least one time in order to complete.
But wouldn't that be below? So you're saying you would not have it in your collection then?
I would say yes. If you're just wanting to watch a movie, if I'm reading this movie without the collection,
right?
The movie is something I think you could just borrow, watch it once, continue on your way. I think going back, if you're a diehard Star Wars fan, then obviously you're going to buy the movie regardless of whatever we give it.
It's automatically going to be your collection.
Probably. Yeah, you're just going to have it, but you're going to bring it out maybe every once in a while when you decide to watch the whole saga.
Only when you're doing what we're doing.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, other than doing the podcast and you guys watching along with us, there's really no reason to watch this whole thing because the Clone Wars got a whole animated show that's about 500 times better than this stupid movie. Like, you get more in-depth conversations with Obi-Wan. They go on more adventures. They're together. You get introduced to Ahsoka. You get all these characters that actually work together because they're not split off on the whole across the galaxy. I mean, sometimes situations will happen that way, and maybe it doesn't follow them precisely all the time, but more or less there's more character development in that whole in about 10 episodes of that series than there is in this movie because I don't know, we do get introduced more to Mace Windu and Yoda because their names are actually said in this movie as opposed to the last movie they didn't even say their names.
Right. I think Padme gets some decent character development. Like, you get to see that she's
but I honestly
somewhat
don't
capable.
think, but that's the thing is episode 2 every single time I see it always reminds me that these actors are really good actors, except for Hayden Christensen at this time. But I think that was bad directing.
Yeah.
I don't think because there are moments where Natalie Portman will just say something, and you're like, man, you did a really good job delivering that line, but that was a dumb thing to say. Like, every time anime is together, it's just that. It's just terrible one-lines to each other. Robot Chicken makes fun of it so well, that it's just, I don't know, it's not good. Like, the scenes that Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman have, they don't look like they have chemistry. It doesn't look like there's actual something happening. The only thing that's providing that sort of lineup of them loving each other is the fact they keep saying it.
Right.
Nothing shows that
keep reminding you.
Yeah, and anytime Hayden Christensen touches Padme, he looks like
awkward.
a freaking I don't know, he's going to do something weird with her. It just doesn't look good, and it's always really weird.
Yeah.
But I definitely think it's in the borrow. For the sake of the fact that it is a Star Wars movie, it does get into the 6s. It's now, where do I put it in the 6s? I think the Obi-Wan parts are fun. They are exciting. It's cool. Anytime Obi-Wan's on screen, a new creature gets introduced. It's like he goes and talks with Dax or Drax or whatever his name is. The dude has like 4 arms. Like, that's pretty cool. He goes to a diner, which gets introduced to like, oh, the galaxy has these diners just all around, which is kind of cool.
With another Greedo.
Yeah, there was like there was a Doug back there, which I honestly think that was Sebulba. But yeah, there's like all these different creatures that are always around. We get introduced to that little waitress robot anytime Obi-Wan's on. There's also the funny moments that happen in the movie that are intentional, happen with Obi-Wan on screen. When he's talking with Yoda, and Yoda and Obi-Wan have more of a chemistry than freaking Natalie Portman and
Obi-Wan, he has a good contrasting personality.
Yeah.
I think because he's kind of like really serious usually, so then everybody else kind of can joke off on the top of that.
Yeah, Obi-Wan's the serious one. Yeah. So with that, I think Obi-Wan and Yoda and Mace Windu, not even Mace, because he's not even really in this movie.
You
as
like
much.
everybody but Anakin and Padme.
Yeah, they bring the movie down so hard.
What about Dooku? You like Dooku?
In this movie, not really.
Okay.
I love his character. I love the actor. But the thing is he doesn't do much in this movie.
That's true.
He just says, I have a plan, and I have now the weapon that's going to destroy planets, and I'm the second in command with Sidious. That's all he says. He's just flopping his dick around. He's not doing anything with it.
Lightsaber hilt, though.
He does. Yeah, he does do the Jedi battle with Yoda. That's the one thing he does in this movie, and then he leaves again. So, like, nothing even happens. Most of this movie doesn't happen until the last half an hour of this 2 hour and 22-minute long movie.
Second longest Star Wars movie.
I don't know.
I wonder if that with 9, because I think 9 is supposed to be pretty long too, but it's shorter than 8. So
I think 9 is the longest now. I think that IMDb thing is. Well, we'll find out.
Yeah.
I think when it's all said and done, I'm gonna give it
6.5.
I think I'm gonna hit the 6.5 mark.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't really want to go lower, because I do think that majority of the movie is it's a good story. It's just there's a lot of missed opportunities, I think, that happen in this movie.
Yeah.
And that's why I just can't give it like the worthy category. Because I mean, you buy it, but you can easily borrow the movie and you get as much fun out of you're gonna get. So yeah, rent it for $1 and call it a day.
It's definitely probably going to be the floor of our ratings, I would assume.
Yeah.
Maybe
I mean, we haven't seen Solo,
yeah.
so I haven't seen Solo since, and I've heard the people that have seen Solo
multiple times
out of the theaters say it's better than when they remember it. And I have not seen it since theaters.
I think I've seen it 3 times now. I do remember it. I've still had a solid thinking it's good, so we'll see.
Yeah, I'm just doing some mathematication here. It's going to get so when it's all said and done, Star Wars Episode 2 gets a 6.7, which is a borrow.
All right.
That's it. All right. What is our homework for next week, Nate?
It is Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Yes.
So it should be the highlight of the prequels.
This was one of my first midnight showings.
Really?
I remember sitting out in the Lacey Theater, which is now a church.
Oh, back before Regal, huh?
Yep, it was the Lacey Theater. But
I believe this was the first one I saw in the theaters. I didn't see 1 or 2.
Oh, I saw 1 and 2 in Idaho.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Was that a name brand theater in Idaho?
No, it was Regal. Oh, Edwards Theater. Yeah, they didn't have
it Regal now though, probably.
Well, Edwards is owned by Regal.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Yeah.
I had never heard of that brand before.
Yeah, it's like Regal, Edwards, something, and then there's like 2 other ones that Regal owns. But yeah, that's it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so where it all kicks off, our rankings are Episode 1 at 7.3, leading the top for the second week in a row. I don't think it's going to be there very often, very much longer. But The Phantom Menace is number 1, and at number 2 with a 6.7 is Attack of the Clones. Ladies and gentlemen, put in the comment section below what you would have rated it on a scale of 1 to 10. And if you're listening to this in an audio form, make sure you subscribe and rate. It really does help us out on the iTunes and Podbean and Google Podcasts. Google Podcasts is what it is. We just get thrown in that, so I don't know what.
They steal your RSS.
Yeah,
feed.
wherever you are listening to this, make sure you rate, review it, share it. If you're watching the video version of this, make sure you hit the subscribe button, tap the bell button to get notified when new videos get uploaded. There's a lot of stuff that is on this channel, and you're not going to want to miss it, especially when we go to fun things like PAX or do new seasons of podcasts and play new video games and stuff. It all happens right here on the YouTube channel. So anyway, that's going to be it. My name is Ryan. That was
Nate.
and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Peace out.